All right, Nick, I'm ready if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. So I'll go ahead and take it away, Justin. Thank you for having me on today's call. I really think it's an important time of the year to be talking about Heartland National and some of the products that we have as we approach AEP. Certainly the hospital indemnity product, which we'll talk a little bit about today. One of the things that I really want to stress in regards to our hospital indemnity plan is the value that it can add to a client. I was on Medicare Guru last night and checking out some of the comments, and there was a comment made about the value of hospital indemnity plans and the agent just not understanding it. So I hope to be able to address that with you all on today's call in terms of talking about kind of just a high-level approach with hospital indemnity plans. We won't get into the meat and potatoes of the benefits, but we can certainly do that in an upcoming call or set up another webinar or go-to meeting to address the benefits of the plan. But I really want to stress concept today and actually taking that concept and put it into an actionable approach, as well as we've got some exciting new Medicare supplement states that I wanted to make sure to mention on today's call as well. So without further ado, my name is Nick Micheletti. I'm the Director of Operations here at Heartland National Life Insurance Company. Hopefully everybody can see my screen okay. Justin, do let me know if there's any lag time as we're going through today's slides. One of the things that I really pride myself on here at Heartland is being there for you right now when we're talking about the product, making sure to get you guys contracted, making sure that you have the tools in your agent portfolio to get out there and help better serve your clients or best serve your clients. But with that also comes an understanding that I want to be there for you when you need us most. So I won't spend much time on this next slide here, but this is a bunch of contact information that we have here at Heartland National. My boss, Bill Ellsworth, here is the Chief Operating Officer. Looks like we do have a little bit of static.
I think a few more people popped on. You may have to mute them really
quick. Got a few more people popping on here, so if everybody wouldn't mind muting themselves, I'll try to do my best as I see you guys pop on here. And I think I've got those too. But this slide is basically saying that we're going to be there for you when you need us most. There's a bunch of topics that typically we cover in our presentations, but hopefully today we'll probably just touch on the first two. Again, feel free to reach out to Justin or myself if you'd like to go into more depth training. But topic one is just an introduction to who Heartland National Life Insurance Company is. We are located, our corporate office is located here in Blue Springs, Missouri. We specialize in senior market products. We're available in 36 states across the country. We've got some new developments that have come down the pipe with an expedited commission payment process for our new Supp and hospital indemnity plan. We've got a quoting tool and e-application that makes doing business with Heartland very, very easy and seamless. Justin's going to demonstrate how to use those tools at the end of my review of a few slides here. And then product diversity, we're always looking at creating new innovative products for the senior market. This slide right here is a availability map of our new Supp states. Heartland National Life just came out with 10 new Medicare supplement states that we're very, very competitive in. So you can see Iowa, Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Maryland, Delaware, West Virginia. All of the states in blue are our new Supp states, and we are very, very competitive within those states. So much so that I wanted to show just a quick map of, and this is what we call a heat map. You can find this on CSG Actuarial, but basically at this age range right here, you can see a Plan G for Heartland National at age 70 for a female non-smoker. Green means your lowest premium and that we have the lowest premium plan in the area. And yellow means that we're within $5 from the lowest plan. So you can see with Heartland National at age 70, that's kind of our sweet spot. You know, we've got almost the entire state of Ohio with the #1 rate, Pennsylvania, Maryland, North Carolina. So we are looking really, really competitive with our 10 new states. And even in the yellow, you'll see that we're just within $5 from the #1 rate. And then if I scroll up here to our open enrollment business, our turning 65 business, again, we're very, very competitive with our pricing. Iowa looks like we've got some #1 rates at 65, the same in Ohio. And then for the surrounding states that we've launched as well, we're typically within $5. So whether it's that turning 65 business, that replacement business at 70, Heartland National will be that go-to carrier for you in terms of those new Medicare supplement states here on this map. As far as the Secure Advantage Flex Plan goes, here's the 36-state footprint that Heartland National is licensed in, so this product is available in all 36 states. One thing that I like to touch on before we get into taking that actionable approach and showing you actually how to package a hospital indemnity plan with a Medicare Advantage plan is I like to think about it big picture. And that's why I like to have this slide in front of us. This gives us kind of the options for our clients as they're turning 65. You've got your traditional Medicare on the far left here, Part A, Part B with the prescription drug plan. But myself, Justin, no one else out there that I work with would really consider that comprehensive coverage because we know our clients will be exposed to deductibles and even that 80-20 co-insurance split. So if something major were to happen to your client, and just big picture, hospitalized, they get a bill for $100,000 or their hospital bill's $100,000. Medicare is going to cover 80% of that, and they're going to be responsible for $20,000 with no max out of pocket. So we never really allow our clients to be positioned for that risk. So many times more than not, we actually offer the option in the middle or the option on the right. The middle option is kind of understanding that we've got out-of-pocket costs associated with original Medicare. We add a Medicare supplement plan to help fill those gaps. And we need to be taking that same mindset when we're enrolling clients into a Medicare Advantage plan, because on those Medicare Advantage plans, there will be out-of-pocket costs associated with them, especially those $0 premium plans. So while your client thinks they've got full comprehensive coverage, if we haven't done our job explaining the summary of benefits to them, they are going to be kind of surprised whenever something happens and they're hospitalized because of the different copays and deductibles associated with that plan. So just as we are adding a Medicare supplement plan to fill the gaps of traditional Medicare, we need to be offering hospital indemnity plans to fill the gaps of Medicare Advantage plans. So it's really, really important that we're doing that to at least present the hospital indemnity plan to let that client make that educated decision on whether or not when they're hospitalized they could potentially come out of their savings with $2,000 or they'd be more comfortable paying $30 a month for a hospital indemnity plan and not have to worry about coming up with $2,000 multiple times over the course of having that MAPD plan in order to satisfy that copay or that max out of pocket. So again, great visual representation of that turning 65 market, how Medicare supplement plans fit, how hospital indemnity plans fit, and making sure that we're looking at it with this way. So that's kind of concept. And now I want to take just a few minutes, I think I've got about 10 minutes here to talk about how to actually build a secure Advantage Flex hospital indemnity plan around a Medicare Advantage plan. So that's what we'll do. As you guys can see on my screen here, we've got a summary of benefits of a $0 premium MAPD. The most expensive, or one of the most expensive parts of an MAPD plan is going to be what happens to your client if he or she is hospitalized. So if you look at that third row from the top here, inpatient hospital care, it's a $340 copay for days 1 through 5. So that means if your client's hospitalized for 5 days, they're going to be responsible for $1,700. Which again can be, which can create a little heartburn for your client if they're not aware or expecting this. So again, we just need to make sure we're doing our jobs explaining with this $0 premium comes some out-of-pocket risk and exposure to us, and this one's at close to $1,700 depending on how long that hospitalization takes. But additionally, you can see on here you've got an ambulance copay of $225, an emergency room copay of $90, you've got an outpatient surgery copay of $340, skilled nursing, $160 copay days 21 through 49. With original Medicare, they cover the first 20 days. So with our plan that we've created, there's a 20-day elimination period, and we actually pick up and pay days 21 through 100 for that skilled nursing rider. So there's a lot of costs that your client could be exposed to, and we just need to make sure we're doing our job communicating that to them and then offering them a solution with the hospital indemnity plan and then letting them make that educated decision so they're not calling you 3 months later and saying, hey, I got this bill for $2,000, what's going on here? You can say, hey, Mrs. Jones, we talked about that hospital indemnity plan and you declined that coverage. You said you'd come out of your savings with that amount. Or if you may be the agent on the other end that said, hey, we actually enrolled you into that hospital indemnity plan. Let me help you get this claim filed here, and you won't have to worry about paying out of pocket for that $2,000 invoice due to your hospitalization. And one other thing that's really important on the summary of benefits is your annual max out of pocket, that $4,500. With our hospital indemnity plan, one thing with that max out of pocket, many times the main reason one of your clients will hit that on an MAPD plan is due to the diagnosis of cancer. So with our plan, we do have a lump sum cancer rider that can be attached to your hospital indemnity plan to give your client a little bit of protection in case they are unfortunately or would be diagnosed with internal cancer. So, if you sold your base plan, you could add that cancer rider. Yes, sir.
question, are y'all working on the lump sum cancer rider being added to the state of Virginia?
So I'll have to check those forms on Virginia, but if it's not available now, Justin, then we're not working on that currently. We just got Virginia approved several months back, so it was just a new approval. But as you know, Virginia can be kind of a tough state. So
okay.
Unfortunately, if it's not available in Virginia, it's not.
But I didn't know the answer to it, and I know some people out there would want me to ask.
Sure. So to Justin's point, there are some idiosyncrasies from one plan to another throughout the 36-state footprint that we're in, and I won't harp on filings with DOIs and trying to understand their subjectivity that they have in terms of reviewing things. But for the majority of our generic states, we do have that lump sum cancer rider available, and it can be very important when you're talking about a client's max out of pocket on an MAPD plan. So to keep things simple, let's talk about building a hospital indemnity plan around this MAPD, but we're going to keep only in mind really the inpatient hospital copay, the ER copay, and the ambulance copay. So you can see I've kind of pulled those out of the summary of benefits, thrown them on this slide here. So how do those affect your client if he or she is hospitalized? So in this example, your client experiences an accident or illness. They take the ambulance to the emergency room and they're admitted to the hospital for 5 days. That means they're going to be responsible for that $340 copay for 5 days, the $90 ER copay that I know many times does get waived if your client's admitted to the hospital, and then the $225 ambulance copay or out of pocket to your client on that $0 MAPD in this example is $2,015. So again, that can be quite a check to write if you're unprepared to do so. But let's offer our clients a solution to help protect them from that cost. So what we're going to do is build a Secure Advantage Flex plan, a Heartland plan, around that MAPD. So at 65, I'm going to build a base plan at $350 per day to cover that $340 copay. I'm going to choose a benefit period of 5 days to cover that 5-day duration. The ER benefit's already built into the base plan, so I don't have to do anything there. But all I'm going to do is add the ambulance rider at $200 per trip. It's $2 and change to add the ambulance rider. I'd pretty much pre-package it on any of your appointments to add that ambulance rider. Total cost roughly for this plan in our generic states is $31.53, including the household discount. With this plan, while your client's going to be responsible for $2,015, Heartland National would pay your client a benefit of $2,100. So a little bit more in excess of what their responsibility is. And again, this is an indemnity plan, so we're going to pay your client exactly what they've selected, and they can do whatever they like with the additional money that they'd have here, that $85 in extra. So to kind of think about that as well is, you know, that base plan at $350 to cover the $340 copay, you may bump that to $400 or $450, knowing that a hospitalization really can come with some ancillary cost as well. Maybe they've got pet boarding or other expenses that they'd be responsible for while they're hospitalized. So you can certainly increase that daily benefit, and you can even increase the benefit period from 5 to 10 days to 15 to 31 days. So there's a lot of flexibility in that benefit period as well. But having a Heartland Secure Advantage Flex plan on that MAPD plan would protect your client from that example and actually pay them a benefit of $2,100. So really, there's two scenarios that are going to happen to your client while they're on that $0 MAPD plan in this example. They're going to get an invoice due immediately for $2,015, or they're going to get a check from Heartland National for $2,100. And now I like to really express the value of these plans here, and kind of touching back on some comments on Facebook that I had seen last night in terms of value, and some things to clarify that a lot of the agents in the field don't realize. So in our example here, we paid our client $2,100 worth of benefit. You divide that by your monthly premium, it's going to give you 66.6 months, or basically what this is saying, it's going to take your client over 5.5 years to pay more in premium than he or she would receive in benefit from this one instance of a hospitalization. So that sounds nice, but even more so, this plan restores every 60 days. So now your client's been discharged from the hospital, 61 days later something happens to them and they're readmitted to the hospital. At this point, their benefit period has completely restored. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead here. At this point, their benefit period is completely restored. Same example happens to them, ambulance to the emergency room, hospitalized for 5 days, and now we paid them another $2,100 worth of benefit. So within the same year, we paid your client $4,200 worth of benefit, and now from a value perspective, if you divide that by your monthly premium of $3,153, you're going to get 133 months, or essentially 11 years. It's going to take your client over 11 years to pay more in premium than he or she would receive in benefit from these two instances of a hospitalization. So really what I'm trying to get across is that these plans restore every 60 days. They can be used more than once in a calendar year, and they can certainly be used more than once over the course of a lifetime. So that's where the value comes in with these plans, is the ability for them to restore and be able to pay again down the road. And when we talk about that 60-day restoration period, why would it be better to sell more days? So let's throw an example out there. You sold a 10-day plan as opposed to that 5-day plan. Your client's in the hospital for 5 days and they're discharged, but they happen to be readmitted within that 60-day period. They're readmitted, guess what? They still have 5 days left in the bank from their original 10-day plan. So just as I mentioned, sometimes it may be more beneficial to sell more of a benefit per day. It could also be more beneficial for your clients to sell a more benefit duration in order to protect them from a readmission. So our plan, it's got a lot of value with it. I think we've really hit the nail on the head from 3 different aspects when we worked with our actuaries. We wanted to make sure we were competitive in rates, competitive in commissions, and competitive in benefits, and I really think we've done that with our product here. So I'm going to turn it back over to Justin, but I really wanted just to talk about today how to build that plan around a Medicare Advantage plan so you guys can see, just not only understand concept. A lot of people tell you why it's great to do it, but I wanted to actually show you that approach and how to build it, and then take it a step further to show you the value and understanding the recurrence piece of it. But our plan's very, very flexible. Get with Justin. He can show you the details of the benefits. There's 7 riders in our generic states. We've got a guarantee issue period, 7% household discount, and we have all the tools in order for you to be successful with our product during AEP. And as we approach AEP, this is going to be a product that you should be heavily talking about if you're enrolling Medicare Advantage clients. And then if you're on the Med Supp side, you saw our 10 states are extremely competitive, sweet spots between 70 and 75, but we're typically within $5 of the #1 rate for that turning 65 business. So I think partnering with Heartland only makes sense as we kind of approach the 4th quarter of this year. But with that, Justin, I am going to stop sharing on my screen here and turn that back over to you. But again, I appreciate everyone's time this morning, and I'd be happy to get more in the weeds with you at a later date.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nick. You're a very smart dude, and I just hope that all these people are smarter than me and can keep up with what you're saying.
Yeah, sorry for going fast there. You gave me 20 minutes, so I tried to condense it.
Really good. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to get too in the weeds on certain things, and just wanted to let people know what the need for that product was so much, and then highlight the new Minnesota states. So that's great. So have you turned it back over to me now?
I have stopped sharing.
Yeah, you did. That's great. Now this will come back over to me, and I will actually share my Safari thing here. Share. Boom. Now can everybody see my screen? You see a Heartland National Manhattan dashboard. Let's see. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to ramble on for a while. Let's see how that goes. Pull up my
Hey,
chat.
Justin, real quick. Got one question.
Go ahead.
For the, he said something about the guaranteed issue period for the Heartland National product. Is that during AEP, or is that somebody who's brand new?
No, it's an age. So for the Heartland National HIP, it's if they're 64.5 to 65.5, it's the same as their Med Supp open enrollment period.
Okay.
So it's just to give you the ability to sell it to people you're out marketing new to Medicare plans, which is what a lot of people do, because you're marketing to that guaranteed issue window. It's just it's just another way to market, and then they're just saying they'll take all that business. And I want to say he may have hit on it, and I may have missed it, but I think they have just a 6-month pre-existing condition window on that business. So. Wish I could see.
Hey, and Justin, I see a chat, and I'm going to follow up on that real quick if you give me 2 minutes. But with your Medicare Advantage enrollments, I think in 2020 you're going to be looking at that $510 commission for new Medicare Advantage plan enrollments. So taking the extra, 15 to 20 minutes to kind of plant the seeds of a hospital indemnity plan and why they're important, you could actually walk out of that appointment with your $510 on your Medicare Advantage plan enrollment, plus another $350 to $400 worth of hospital indemnity commission. So to touch on that point right there, I mean, yeah, who wants, it's important that we have these calls so you can see how to basically almost double that commission on that one appointment after you establish that trust and relationship by just offering a product that's going to help your client at the end of the day.
Perfect. Thanks, buddy. All right, so now I'm just going to run through some of these e-apps, and I was going through here and muting people so we don't get a whole lot of craziness going on anymore. Not sure who that was. Hold on just a second. Okay. So can everybody see my Heartland National portal here? Actually, I'm going to go back to the agent portal first so you can see where all these e-apps are. So just kind of a high-level overview of the portal. The things that are going to matter, you can monitor your cases right here. It's pretty easy. Anybody that had the old Equitable life and casualty portal, it's very similar as far as the genetic makeup here. If you go to the support tab, you can go to the both e-apps right here. So you have the Medicare Supplement e-app and the Secure Flex e-app. So when you click those, the first thing I wanted to point out is the Heartland National Secure Flex Advantage e-app. Okay, so this is the Hospital Indemnity e-app. It's very, very simple. When you're building it out at first, you can use it to quote as well as when you go. This is where I quote these plans at. I don't go pull up sheets and stuff. I just go straight to this and pop it in here. So if I'm doing one participant, I'm just putting in their first name, and we'll just put kind of a generic birthday here. Say a 65-year-old. I'm doing the daily benefit, kind of like Nick's example, $350 a day, and then we'll do a 5-day. So that's a real common one. Another common one is like a 275. So I'd go up to like a 300 with a 7-day copay. But either one of those, same concept. You're going to select your state, whichever one, and the household discount portion here is, I think he said it, basically you don't have to have 2 people signing up. You can apply that. I think they just have to have somebody over 18 living with them. I get my household discounts confused, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And it gives them a 7% discount. So it'll pull up the premium with the discount over here. So once you get in here, you can add the other portions you want. So a lot of mine, I love to add the $10,000 lump sum cancer rider. That just makes sense to me. They have a $6,700 maximum out of pocket a lot of times, or $10,000 out of network maximum out of pocket on their entire plan. A really quick way to hit that is a diagnosis of cancer. You get into radiation and all that. It adds up really fast. You can add lump sum confinement benefits. I normally don't do that. That's another way to do it, but a lot of times I don't see the value as much in it because it gets kind of expensive to add those riders. So you can see how expensive that lump sum rider is. So I just do it on I add the cancer one and leave that and have the daily benefit because that's how their plan is structured anyway. Don't know what happened just there. Let me refresh. Okay, so I'm gonna go back, add my $10,000 lump sum cancer rider. And you can add some of these other ones, the ambulance rider, $200. I don't know if he hit too much on the dental and vision, but you do have a dental, vision, and hearing rider. One of the, 2 benefits I can say about the dental and vision portion is if you were going to sell them a standalone dental and vision policy, the $1,000 benefit is very competitively priced to some of the other dental and vision products. It would be drafted under one premium because it's a rider. They also waive their deductibles on preventative after 3 months, which is unique to them. But it is a good plan. It is a 60, 70, 80 style plan with dental, vision, and hearing. And you would get HIP level commissions instead of dental level commissions, which are a little higher. We're not going to do anything just for commissions, but it's already in your mind. That's not a bad feature as well. So I'm going to go back and take that off and just go to apply now. So first thing that's going to pop up, since I didn't put in somebody who's in their guaranteed issue window, is the health questions. Now, if you answer no to all these questions, this is a simplified issue product, so it's probably going to get issued right away. But don't clean sheet it. Go through these questions if they're actually in an underwritten period. But they're not very difficult. These questions are a little bit more lenient than most med subs are. I'm just going to go down through and not bore you with every single health question. And we're going to go on. So these 2 questions actually only pop up for if you add the lump sum cancer benefit. But those 2 questions are basically have you had cancer in the last 5 years? Many standalone cancer policies are the last 10 years. So this one is last 5, which is a lot better. So Aetna's is the last 5 as well. I think those are the only 2 that are in most states last 5 years instead of last 10. Okay, so then we get over here and we're just adding client information. Remember on that first page, you just added first name. So just going to go, I'll do that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Boom. Okay, let's see here. Just add this basic info to get us through to the next page. Okay. Other coverage, they're asking about the if you have Medicaid. This is typically asking if they have full Medicaid, not partial Medicaid. Is the coverage applied for replacing any other coverage for the applicant? So this is if you're replacing a hospital indemnity plan. Most of the time you're not, but if you are, you might be replacing Medico or GTL. If you were, you would just put that info in there, just like when you do a life policy or a med supp. Save and continue, household discount. Yeah, so just like I was saying before, if you've resided with someone for 12 months who is 18 or older, you get the household discount. You just got to put in their name. Be like child, whatever. This goes back where you want to verify the benefits. At this point, you can change. So if they decided between now and then that they wanted to add the dental, you can pop it on there right there at this point and continue with it. Then we're going to go to effective date, premium mode, check, 1. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. Just a second, I wanted to get through this so you guys could see it all here. Oh, and when you get to this page, you're going to always have to open up the outline of coverage because they're wanting you to verify that you're downloading a copy to give to your clients, and then the choosing a Medigap policy guide. Once you do that, you can save and continue. Did you meet with them in person? Was it over the phone? Either way, let's say, was any applicant? Say no, yes, yes. Both of you reviewed it for errors and omissions or correctness in any omissions. Are you related to the applicant? No. Will this policy replace any other one? Say no right now. If you say yes, you just needed to have that other page hit yes as well. So it was so that they matched. Have you sold any other? We'll just say no right now. So we'll put that in there and click save and continue. And boom, boom. Signature, you have email, DocuSign, or in-person DocuSign. If it's in person, you're going to put your email as the agent and submit application. If it's email DocuSign, I'm sure a lot of you have done that too. So if you're doing telesales with it, you can do it over the phone that way. This is just going to pop up when you're in person, and you're going to allow them to click, start, sign here. It's going to use your signature first. Well, actually, this is my signature because I'm doing my name. I'm used to that being the agent's name. So anyway, you go through there, and then you can download the application right here. Boom, you got the whole application. So pretty easy on the hospital indemnity plan e-app. The other thing I want to go over really quick on hospital indemnity, then you're going to get an email saying that it's, I don't know if you guys can see that, but you get an email that says it's complete. I'm going to have to tell Nick to delete that one out of there. But going over to the MedSupp e-app, real quick, if you go to support, and you click the Medicare Supplement e-app, and boom, it's going to pop up with, it's going to go over to CSG, because CSG actually designed their e-app. So you're going to have to be logged into CSG for this to work. So any login would work. You're logged into CSG, and it's going to pull up your Heartland National one over some of your other logins you have. So when you go in here, you have, you can view your old e-applications here. You can run a quote here, just like you regularly do in CSG, only it's going to only pull up Heartland National in this case. So, oh gosh, got to run one somewhere where it's actually active. Raleigh, North Carolina. It's a zip code over there. 27513. Okay, so we'll go 27513. 65 female G, no discount. Change your effective date. Continue. And we're going to pull up Heartland National Life, apply now. Okay. Let's see, gotcha. All right, so we're over here. Sorry, I was reading the chat to see if I can catch up. I'll come back and catch up on some of those in just a second. On this one, we're going to, select whether it's fully underwritten, open enrollment, or guaranteed issue. We'll do open enrollment for this one because I'm not going to go through the health questions. I just want to kind of get through the meat of it. That's not going to be open enrollment. Let's do month 8, 1, 2039 is on there. Okay, so I'm going to go back down to 1954. Boom. Are you covered in Part A? Yes. Say 7/1/2019. If your birthday is on the 1st, your Part A and B would go into effect the month before. Some of you know that, some of you don't. So just thought I'd throw it out there. Continue. Anybody that's worked with CSG knows that page-to-page loading is a little bit slower than it was on the HIP app. Within the HIP or the Heartland portal, it's a little bit faster. So over here, looking at Plan G, just put in the basic info. It's Cary, North Carolina. Okay, whatever. Mailing address, different from residence. No. Put in an email right now. Got the birthday. I'm gonna put in a height and weight. I'm going to talk to him. If it's open enrollment, it shouldn't be requiring the height and weight, but we'll put it in there anyway. I'm not 5'4", 118 pounds, in case you were wondering. That's just what it landed on. All right. Okay. Maybe eligible for privacy with a lower premium registry answers. This is the 18 and older household discount question. So, yep, you can add old John Smith back in there and put his birthday, January 2, whatever, 1964. They want you to put the address because they want to show that he's at the same place. Oh man, what was that zip code? 27512. Okay, continue. And we're going to get into social Medicare number. And I'm not going to bore you with a lot of this because it's going to be the same as a bunch of them. But you're going to get to your method of payment screen down here. And it's pretty standard. You're talking, they're giving you, whatever ongoing draft day you want to. Selecting monthly. The first draft date will be on approval. And and get you to the signature page. Just see if it'll let me do it. It probably won't until I finish it up. But the good thing about the signature page is super easy. It's just mother's maiden name. So that was a hard fought thing. It's a sore subject for Nick, so don't bring it up. But it is a mother's maiden name signature. We submit it on the computer very easily, face-to-face over the phone. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to go through every little slide on there because it's all pretty standard. But then you get to the end, mother's maiden name. It's all very fluid. CSG designed it, and they do a good job on that kind of stuff. So that is it on Heartland National. I wanted to give the EAP overview. I think he hinted on enough on why Heartland National has two products that are very important right now. The HIP has got a really large geographic span, and a lot of people have been missing out on that for a long time. If you are selling any Medicare Advantage, it's great. Even if you're selling some ACA, it's not a bad product to look at because you can customize it to like Obamacare out of pocket as well, and you can go all the way down to 18 years old and sell it. So I am going to pivot over to Manhattan, which I know a lot of you, probably the person that said that they didn't have effing time for this shit or whatever, maybe here for Manhattan and didn't realize we were doing both companies. But I'm going to pivot over to that point right now. So if you want to look at it, continue on. So Manhattan has a variety of different parts. With Heartland National, we were talking about HIP, mostly for Medicare Advantage, and MedSupp for the new 10 states that they just rolled out. And I think they have about 4 more pending. So the Manhattan is going to be different. Manhattan has MedSupps through Western United Life, and they used to have a Manhattan Life block, and they probably will come out with another block of MedSupps in the future. They are an all 50 states company, so not every single product is available in all 50 states, but they have at least one product in all 50 states, which is pretty rare for a non-like household name company. They are a large company. I'm on their advisory council. We do a lot of business with them, and they're a great group. They're the best freaking incentive trip for a carrier in the world. But I'm going to just dive into their different products. First thing I'm going to do is pull up I'm going to go to the enrollment links. Now, this is where your old EAPs would have been with Manhattan. It's under Agent Tools and Enrollment Links. Okay. When you get into, it's going to make me sign in again. When you get into enrollment links, if you don't have these products, we can add the enrollment link. I just have to send an email. But in my enrollment links, you can see you got the old Manhattan Life MedSupp, Affordable Choice 2018, Dental Vision and Hearing 2018, regular Dental Vision and Hearing, Cancer and Dreaded Disease, Cancer First Occurrence, Viva Lifetime. These are some of the life insurance benefits, Viva Living Benefits, Viva Professional, Viva Family, WULA, and the First Choice series. I'm actually going to take a second to sign in to a different login where I have a couple of more EAPs on there. Let me know in chat if my screen spazzes out or anything. Okay, so enrollment links, go back into mine. I'm going to have a couple more. So if you look now, you'll also see critical protection, recovery, and illness. Oops, didn't mean to say again. Paid, that's the accident indemnity policy. So pay, it's just an accident plan you can write. Got all those life ones too. And the other one I was looking for, there it is, out-of-pocket protection plan. So I'm going to run over the dental first because I know that's probably the most popular one on here. The dental, vision, and hearing in most states will match this 2018 one. There are a couple of states that still have the original rates and the original policy, and they haven't been updated, like Virginia is still the original policy. Very similar policy. Virginia's rates are just a little bit lower, and they haven't enacted the ability to be able to write people over 75 yet. So I think they will eventually, but with most of the states, you'll be able to write people all the way up to age 85. So get you a little bit of flexibility there. Okay, so I'm just going to run through a quote real quick. You can do self and child, self and family. So we do a lot of self and and I actually, because I know I have a diverse group here, I'm going to go high level overview for a second, and not get into complete products. Dental and vision is by far their most popular product, just because it is the only dental, vision, and hearing plan right now that allows the full benefit of the policy, be it the $1,000 or the $1,500 plan they have, to go towards dental, vision, or hearing. Most of the other ones that are out there are very limited on the vision and hearing side. There are a lot of plans that are coming out that have very robust dental side benefits, but on the vision and hearing, we're seeing a lot of not a lot of good products for them. So let me have a little feedback. I was going to mute one of these. Okay, so on this dental and vision product, that's the benefit to it, in our opinion, is you have the diverse pool of money. When you say you have a $1,500 plan, you can use it on dental, vision, or hearing. The way we see it is, you have 1 year where you have a lot of dental work, you max out $1,500. The next year you might get a hearing aid, you maxed out $1,500. The next year you had a lot of vision work, you could get $1,000 out of it for glasses and frames and all that stuff. So there are multiple ways to get your money out of it. A lot of these other plans really benefit from having a really low vision and hearing benefit, because most people that have dental benefits that exceed a certain amount are getting them within 1 year, and the next year it's all cleared up. So they're getting it all done at one time. So when you calculate in the premium and the max amount of pocket, sometimes there's not a lot of benefit there to them. So we still love Manhattan product, even though we are looking at a couple of other ones that are really robust on the dental side. Let me get this out of my way. But on this product, they have the easiest e-app that you'll ever see. So I'm just going to put in a quick birthday, and all of these e-apps in the enrollment link portion are exactly the same. There's a few different questions they might ask, but so I'm looking at a 65-year-old female, male. Gender rates are not different. So a $1,500 plan is a $48.51 a month plan for a 65-year-old in Mississippi. That's under the new plan rates. If you go down, it's basically one clean sheet. You're going to put in all this basic info. You're going to put in your address, click same as residential for mailing if they don't have a P.O. box. Go down to billing and go down to billing. You're going to put in your bank draft. You can do list bill because they are a payroll deduction company and they do a lot of employee benefits as well. So you could get into that side of them. But for the most part, you're looking at bank draft on individual sales. You're going to get into these 3 quick questions. Is this a guaranteed issue product? So you're not going to have any issues with having to answer health questions or pre-existing or any of that. And it's very simple. It's a mother's maiden name signature right here, whether you're in person or over the phone. Doesn't matter. I always click right here to decline the email communication. I don't, I collect emails, but I'm not going to have the company's email on them if possible. And then that's pretty much it. You can't add commission splits down here. Super easy application. Okay. The other primary product that we write for them is the Affordable Choice 2018 policy. Okay. So the Affordable Choice, let's see if I can share with a window. Hold on just a second. I'll pull up this brochure. In a lot of states, most states, they have rolled out the new Affordable Choice. Some are still using the old benefit structure. I am going to share this brochure in just a second. Okay. Switch over to sharing this. All right. So most of you should be seeing my Affordable Choice brochure here now. This is a plan that we typically divert to when someone doesn't qualify for a special enrollment period into Obamacare, or they don't qualify for a good subsidy in the Obamacare, or their group plans are priced at a rate that they can't afford or they don't feel like they can afford. We start diverting to looking at short-term medical and Affordable Choice. I normally present both and kind of let them decide. Sometimes they choose both together, but just to show you how popular this plan is, it is a daily indemnity benefit policy that is rooted in the hospitalization and surgical benefits. On the Elite Plus, which is the one we of course strive for, that's the highest policy. You have I'm not going to dive into every single benefit, but basically, if you go into the hospital, you have the first day, you have a daily benefit of $5,000 and a hospital admission benefit the first day of $3,000. So basically, if you go into the hospital with this, it would pay $8,000 the first night, and then it would pay $5,000 a night after that. It does have this building benefit injury reimbursement that was added afterwards. That starts in year 2. If you get down to the emergency room or urgent care benefit, that's just kind of I always tell people to go to an urgent care clinic if they have a sickness, and they can get the full $375, even if the urgent care visit only costs $100. This right here is their surgery fee schedule. The surgery fee schedule is adopted from Medicare's fee schedule for what Medicare would pay for these surgeries or would pay their physicians. And on the Elite Plus, it pays 3 times the surgical fee schedule for each surgery. That surgical fee schedule would be put in everybody's policy to review, and they got it. You have the ambulatory surgical benefit. You have a separate assistant surgeon and anesthesiologist benefit. So that's how it would build up and compound, is how much it would pay for surgeries. You have under this one a $400 payments it would pay towards doctor's visits each year, a $75 per day prescription benefit. Then it gets into having some outpatient medical test benefits. And when you get down here, you have a cancer, chemo, and radiation and immunotherapy 40 days in a calendar year cancer benefits. That's $2,000 a day at 40 days would be an $80,000 a year benefit. You have a $5 million lifetime maximum payout and $1 million a year calendar limit on the hospitalization daily copays or daily benefits. So it's a very, very robust indemnity plan. And so a lot of people review this, and when we tell them, hey, with this plan, you can, go to the hospital and tell them, I don't have regular insurance. I don't have a network plan. I don't have, Blue Cross Blue Shield. So please give me the cash price. You get the cash price, send the bill to Manhattan, and then they write you a check for it. And then you would pay the doctor. You can come out really well that way. You do have a card with this policy, so you can go right up to the doctor and have them file it. My mother has this policy right now, and honestly, I just tell her to get the bill, and then we file it. They write her a check, then she pays the bill with it. That makes a lot more sense, because that way they'll give you the cash price every time. But a lot of people don't want to do that, and they can just use the card. This is your pricing structure on the plan. So it's age banded. You can do individual and spouse, individual and children, individual and family, child only. And you can, do those within each age band, 18 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, and 50 to 64. Honestly, the biggest sweet spot I found for it is 50 to 64, because the rates are so much cheaper than short-term medical. They're very appealing to people who can't get good Obamacare subsidies. That's been a great plan for them. Just to give you a little bit of extra benefits, they do subscribe to the multi-plan PPO. So if a doctor is part of the multi-plan PPO, that means that they have agreed to certain rates on certain surgeries and things, or they've agreed to contractual rates. So they do have to apply to that. You don't have to go to that network. If you don't go to that network, it's probably even more so better to ask for the cash price. You do get Teladoc and Cares 360. So if there's a difference in what this plan pays and a bill at a hospital, for instance, Cares 360 is a service where they would call and negotiate your bill on your behalf. So you're not doing that on your own. Teladoc is a benefit where you can download an app on your phone, and some of you know about this. You can call a doctor if you have an upper respiratory tract infection. They'll call you in, a prescription. You can go pick it up. It's free. You don't pay a copay for that or anything. A lot of younger people are really liking that. And then it does come with a separate prescription drug discount card. It worked. I mean, I've had some people rave over the discounts they got, but if they get the discount and then they get the daily copay of $75 towards it, well, a lot of times they come out making money off their prescriptions. And of course, there are really expensive prescriptions that are a whole different topic of conversation. Most of those would get into the point of having some sort of critical illness like cancer or something. And so there are other ways to insure against that, which I'm going to bring up right now. So let me go back and share my other screen. With my desktop, let me go to Safari. Okay, so as we, so that's the affordable choice, and the health questions are pretty cut and dry. I guess it'd be good to just show you the health questions here. Oh, by the way, rates on this plan are not affected by tobacco use or gender. So that's nice. Select applicant self, quote, do the Elite Plus. Okay, so it's just like the other enrollment link I showed you, where you kind of just go straight down, but you get to the middle and there are some health questions. There is a U.S. citizen question, of course, on there. You can select no, but then you have to provide details of permanent residency status or green card status, that sort of thing. If you get into the health questions here, the most, the biggest one, have you had surgery in the last 5 years? If yes, you just have to outline what they were. You get a lot of that. People that had, gallstones removed or blah, blah, blah. Has any person been advised to have surgery that has not yet been performed? Yes. They will maybe accept this. You just have to put it down. I mean, it may be like something cut off your ear or something, they'll accept that. Has any person proposed for insurance been seen by a physician in the last 12 months? This should be yes most of the time. Sometimes you get some young people that it's no, but if it's yes, you're just putting yes, Dr. Smith saw me 6 months ago for a checkup or whatever it is. Then you're going to list the medication that they're taking. This is prescriptions only. You don't have to list vitamins and all that stuff. Then you get into these knockout questions. The reason these are on here now, they used to not be, and they're not on the states that don't have the new plans, because the old plans did not have the cancer chemo immunotherapy benefit. And so these are knockouts because they don't want people with immune disorders. They're more prone to having to get those immunotherapies, and they don't want people who've had cancer in the last 10 years on that new plan. So that's where that knockout comes in for cancer. So going down a little more, you're going to get into, to the best of your knowledge, within the last 12 months, has any person been to be insured in an elevated risk for PSA, CEA, abnormal mammogram, and that's just more cancer questions. And let's see, then you get to the 5-year knockout questions. And these have actually remained the same. So you got alcoholism, chemical dependency, basal cell or squamous cell carcinoma with recommended surgery that has not been completed. That's just because they want to know if it's actually cancer or not. Diabetes, type 1 or insulin control. So this is not for type 2 diabetics, that are taking metformin or that sort of thing. But if they're taking insulin or they're type 1, like on a pump, that's where you would check that. Now that is typically going to be a knockout question, but it's actually allowing us now to put details in, and they will consider it. So heart disorder, heart disease, kidney disorders, excluding kidney stones, lupus, paralysis, rheumatoid arthritis, stroke, brain aneurysm, tuberculosis, sickle cell anemia, peripheral vascular or arterial disease. All these you're used to hearing and asking anyway. So that's pretty much it on that. And then, of course, I do the decline on the email. You get to the bottom, and it's a mother's maiden name signature again, which makes their e-app super easy. So like I was saying with the affordable choice, we a lot of times offer cancer policies with it. We like to do a $50,000 cancer policy with it because it does have that $80,000 chemo and immunotherapy and radiation benefit, and it will pay on cancer surgeries and that sort of thing. It will pay on hospitalization related to cancer. But we think sometimes with cancer, there's a whole lot of extra expenses, perhaps related to prescriptions. So a lot of times we sell a first occurrence cancer policy with it, so a lump sum. Manhattan has one, so you can quote it here, and you kind of keep it all in the family if you wanted to. We write a lot of the Aetna cancer policy right now, so but you can do this one. So you can do a $50,000 cancer policy for $55 a month. That's first diagnosis. So if you're diagnosed with cancer after you get this, boom, you can get a $50,000 check to use in conjunction with your other coverage. If you have living benefits, life insurance, of course, there may be already something there. to pull out of. This out-of-pocket protection plan is another really popular product they have. So this one right here will cover pregnancy if it's not currently existing. They don't want to like go out and market it to people who are planning on getting pregnant because it's a general loss for them at some point, but it will cover it. So the affordable choice itself does not cover pregnancy, but this plan will cover that. So if you have somebody who may get pregnant, who's a childbearing years, female who's potentially going to get pregnant or married or whatever the case may be, as long as they're not already pregnant, you can write this plan with it, and it could cover the majority of a typical pregnancy. So just kind of give you an outlay of it here. If you look at the benefits here, so this is how they do their benefit structure. At the core benefit, you have to choose either $100 or a $200 a day hospital confinement benefit. So if you're hospitalized, it's going to have $200 a day. That comes standard with a doctor's office visit benefit, where it'll pay an extra $50 towards the doctor's office visit. So if you have a plan that's going to pay $100, this will pay an additional $50 towards a couple of extra visits a year. That's just kind of standard with their policy. For the price difference, obviously $200 makes sense. The hospital admission, especially if you're looking to cover pregnancy, we love to do the $63.50 because typically you're going to get hospitalized for a couple of days when they go to deliver a baby. That's going to trigger that hospital admission benefit of $6,350, which would typically cover a large chunk of that, if not all of it, depending on the situation, especially if they're getting cash price. That $63.50 for this person's only $12.70, so it's not a lot of money to put on there. You can do an outpatient surgery benefit of $3,000. We love pairing this with affordable choice because it really helps, with some of the maybe deficiency on the surgery costs. Add that $3,000 there. And you can do an emergency accident benefit. This just helps if you have an accident, need to go to the emergency room. It's an additional benefit. I can't remember exactly what the emergency accident benefit is, but for $2, it's kind of a no-brainer when you're starting to add this plan. So this is the maxed out version of the plan. It's $48.19 a month to go right along with it. And you can kind of see how it adjusts for age right here. So it goes up about, less than $20, and you add somebody 10 years to their life. So same kind of e-app. As soon as I apply for that, it's going to pull up the same stuff. Very similar health questions to the affordable choice. Not as much harping on the cancer with this one. You can sell this plan if you find somebody with Obamacare already and they're getting a decent deal on it, but they have a high deductible or some out of pocket. You can sell this plan with that instead of, walking away and not being able to help them with anything. So that's a great way to find prospects who are like, man, my deductible is just so high. Well, boom, you can pretty much cover their deductible against hospital admission, surgery, all that kind of stuff. So, and it's mother's maiden name signature again, same concept. Okay, so those are the four most popular. We do have some agents that write a lot of their accident policy, and we have some agents that are writing some of their life policies as well. I'm not going to get into those right now. I don't know as much about them, but I think some other of our guys are getting more into the life, and we'll probably do a training on those at some point as well. If you have their MedSupp app is right here, and it's very similar to the other apps. All mother's maiden name, but it's just a Medicare supplement. Western United Life has a pretty large footprint too. So, yep. Let me go over to the last thing I want to show you for sure, and that is the 2.0 e-app that they've just come out with. So we'll pull up this. We have a whole list of my customers, which I wish weren't there. But when we're doing this, we have we're going to go into 388, say zip code 38801. Next, I'm going to go to just put my name in here, 01/27/1988, and you can build out an entire family in here. So you could do Bob. I'm married to a man now. Nothing wrong with that. He's born the same day as me. And then you can add children as well if you want to. I'm just going to delete that and do an individual one right now. We go in here. I can quote the affordable choice Elite Plus. Change my effective date here. Just open it up and change it like this. Return to product list. And look, it's building a cart over here, just like you're on Amazon, man. We're going to go to cross-sell. Now, right now, they don't have the out-of-pocket protection plan on here or the MedSupp, but that's something they're working on adding. But you could stack your cancer benefit on here with it. Return. I can stack my, let's see, dental, vision, and hearing. Let's see. I got to put that wife to work. I got to make her buy something from me, Brad. $1,500 dental, vision, and hearing benefit. Boom. I've built up a card over here, and then I can begin enrollment, and I'm enrolling all 3 of those products in one application. This is still a mother's maiden name EI. So same concept. You're just going to make your way through. We've been working with them on some of the kinks on this, but it's really getting down to being pretty ironed out. So anyway, all right, now I'm going to back up. I'm doing very, very quick overviews of a lot of different things. I know it's a lot of information. That's why I'm recording this. And I know that there will be a lot of specific questions about these from different people. I have some people that are brand new to the product, some people that have sold a bunch of it, and it just, and it's just, you know, hard to get everything. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up and answer a couple of these questions. I got a question on from David Farmer about the Virginia. I think that was back when we were talking about Heartland National. Is it coming to Virginia? So the Heartland National HIP is in Virginia. We do have people offering a separate cancer plan. I think Mutual of Omaha is there, maybe Aetna's there. You can offer the HIP and then just package it with a separate cancer policy. So that's a good question. What kind of commission? Honestly, on the HIP, it depends on your production level. I mean, we got levels pretty far up, but the street level, you know, and then a lot of times this gets kind of fuzzy because you got some people that are being managed by somebody that's providing extra help to them. So their street level may be a little lower, but it may be that they're giving something else in return. But typically, this one's going to be about 10 to 15 points higher than what GTL and Medico are offering in Aetna on the Heartland National HIP. If you look at, let's see, Matthew says, is AEP the guarantee? Okay, I answered that earlier. So that's the guaranteed issue for the HIP with Heartland was 64.5 to 65.5, just like MedSups. RHO said, goodness gracious. I'm sure that's because we were boring them or something. I don't know. Matthew says, it's definitely not me or Leslie. Well, thank God. And then just Heartland's not showing the CSG portals. Laura's looking to get that fixed. Okay, good. Yeah, that's a brand new e-app rollout, so hopefully that's getting fixed for you guys. How does Manhattan compare with Aetna and Aflac? So Aflac doesn't have a plan like the Affordable Choice. They don't have a plan like the out-of-pocket protection exactly. They have like a disability product that's pretty good. Aflac, honestly, is very popular for group benefits. I don't really like a lot of their products. I don't like their, I'm not a big on their cancer. So you're looking for, okay, you're talking about cancer. So on cancer, Aetna, on the standalone cancer, in my opinion, Aetna and Mutual of Omaha are probably the most competitive on the rates. I think a lot of people are writing the Manhattan because they're already on there writing Manhattan, so they just kind of like package it together, and that makes sense because when people start getting multiple drafts on their account, it raises a little more red flags. So if you're getting those multiple drafts and they all say the same company, that's one thing. But if you're getting them and it's like, okay, Aetna, Mutual Omaha, Manhattan, they're thinking, what do these guys sell me? Did they just put a bunch of random stuff on my account? And even if you explain it well, sometimes you still get that feedback. So in my opinion, I do write a lot of the Aetna cancer with my Medicare. I have written some Manhattan cancer when I'm doing the packages just for the bundling purpose. But a lot of times I'll even divert over, write the Affordable Choice, out-of-pocket protection on Manhattan, and an Aetna cancer policy, especially if I'm dealing with somebody that I think can really understand why it's two separate companies. With Aflac, we don't do a lot with Aflac. We refer some group stuff out to people that are doing that, but now we're not even doing that because we're working with people at IFG that are trying to help with that. I don't think it's hard to battle the duck. I get these people that come in with old Aflac policies, and the main reason they want to keep it is because they've had it for 34 years, but it's not worthwhile to them unless they can't get another cancer policy now, especially if they're going on Medicare. If you're going on Medicare and you're looking at a cancer policy, you're going to want one that's paying lump sum anyway, because the benefits that are in those Aflac ones, like they might pay 10 grand towards a penile cancer implant or some crap that's like so rare that the benefit is kind of ridiculous that it's even in there. So, I'm just Aflac for me. I destroy them all day long. Let's see. I am a savage. I did sell my wife a plan. I sold me one too. This portal is my personal enrollment portal, but let me go in. Let me see here. Luckily, they don't throw all my phone numbers on there. I know you savages would be calling all my clients trying to roll them to something. David would be trying to sell them Aflac. Let me see where we're at. Trying to think if I need it to hit on anything else. Let's see. So we captured your screen. Good, good. If you can look them all up, you probably find them somewhere. You see the states they're in and stuff too. So that honestly is about it for now. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions, but let's see. Okay. Push the fact that they have a good agent. Do they know their Aflac rep? Probably not. Plus, Aflac customer service is terrible from a former Aflac rep. I completely agree with you. I hear terrible things on the Aflac side. I think that a lot of people push it because they get recruited in so heavily, but their agent turnover is terrible too, probably because they realize how bad it is to work there. Run through presentation to client for affordable choice. So running through a presentation on affordable choice. When we get the way we do this, and I do have a video where I talk about how we evolve the conversation, the way we personally evolve the health insurance conversation is I start with Obamacare. First thing I do is I find out by going through healthcare.gov right here if they qualify for a subsidy. First thing, do they qualify for a special enrollment period if it's the middle of the year? If it's not open enrollment and they don't qualify for a special enrollment period, I say, well, you can't get Obamacare right now, so we'll divert to other two things. But if they do qualify for a special enrollment period, or we're right around or in open enrollment, I'm going to go to healthcare.gov and I'm going to go to I'm going to go to Get Answers and go to where can I find 2019 blah, blah, blah. So then I'm going to click this little button here. It's going to bring me up to a quote engine. So I'm going to do Lee County. For now, I'll just do just you, but you can build out a house. Actually, I'll do household. You can build it out, say they're married, say they have 2 kids. So now I'm building out a household in here. So let's say I got a 50-year-old male. He's got a kid under 19, doesn't use tobacco. Got a 50 or 49-year-old female, parent, no tobacco. Got a 15-year-old son. They waited a while to have kids. None of that other stuff. We got a 12-year-old daughter. Boom. Okay. So get over here. Continue. I'm going to go to the income portion, and let's just say they're self-employed and their modified gross income is around $150,000. And you're going to have some people that are making too little to get subsidies as well. But so this is going to put them out of getting any tax credit. So then you run that Obamacare quote, and that's enough to scare a lot of them out of there, because that's the Obamacare quote. It's the cheapest one for them. Is with a $13,100 family deductible, pays nothing to you. That deductible costs $1,731 a month. So a lot of these people, $150,000 sounds like a good income, but when you start throwing in $1,700 a month in health insurance costs, it's not. So then if that's the case and they're just balking at that, because most of them do, then we say, well, there are a couple of other options, and we pull up short-term medical, which we do typically through NatGen or United Healthcare for the tri-term states. But if I pull up short-term medical and I pull up affordable choice, the way I talk about affordable choice is short-term medical is your short-term option. It's going to expire abruptly, and if you do have a condition that you developed in the meantime, you may not be able to extend that short-term medical. Affordable choice is a permanent option. Now, short-term medical is set up more like a major medical policy because it has a deductible and the maximum out of pocket, and then all that. So it feels more like a network style major medical policy, which is kind of deceiving because the short-term medical has a lot of exclusions in it, like joint surgeries. A lot of like NatGen will exclude joint surgeries. I had a guy that was about to turn 65, thank God. He came in and he needed a $50,000 hand surgery, and NatGen basically told him, "Oh, that's not an emergency, so we're not going to pay for it." So he had to wait 4 or 5 months until he went on Medicare to get that done. It didn't end up being the end of the world for him, and he's had it done now. But that kind of exclusion is silly. Manhattan has less exclusions from what I've seen because they adopted the Medicare fee schedule on their policy. So then I pull up, that and say, this is your permanent option. And then I just kind of like show them the brochure and show them the daily copays and the prices. And they compare the price and the benefits themselves in their head. If I'm doing it over the phone, I basically read through it, tell them it's a cash pay plan. A lot of times I try to get them while they're on the phone to open up the brochure through email so they can look at it with me. If I'm on the phone, I sometimes end up having to email it to them and get back with them, but I hate doing that. I like to, keep the conversation moving forward while I'm on the phone with them. If it's in person, it's pretty easy. You show them the brochure and the price difference, and a lot of them are just, that's what they want to go with. So we do get a form signed, and I can send it to anybody that's interested in the affordable choice. I'll show you really quick. Some of you I've sent it to. It's called a non-ACA acknowledgement form. And here's this. And share. Okay, so this is the form. You can see that. It's non-ACA acknowledgement. This is actually the old one. We've updated it now because now there's no tax penalty for not having Obamacare. So we've updated this to change it a little bit, but we still get them to sign saying they acknowledge that they're not buying an Affordable Care Act plan. Because they are. We're not saying this is an Affordable Care Act plan. We're not telling them that it's just as good as Affordable Care Act. We're just saying the benefit versus the reward is different when you look at the price. A lot of these people, when they see $1,700 a month, $2,000 a month, $1,500 a month, they would just go without health insurance. But you can get them down, with an Elite or an Elite Plus plan, like with that family, for instance. They could get the Elite for $668 or the Elite Plus for $940. That's $700-800 a month cheaper. To them, that makes a lot of sense. So it's just about showing those options, and I do have more videos on YouTube that break down that exact thing on the computer on how we look at it. But I think that should answer your question. The big differentiating factor between short-term medical and affordable choice, Brad, is for us is the guaranteed renewability, and there's actually less policy exclusions than there are in short-term medical. So. But us, we sell both of them. We offer it and let them choose. Sell them what they want, then sell them what they need. So, any more questions, guys? Any more? I want to try to get as much value out of it as possible for you. I appreciate so many of you tuning in. I hope it was relevant to a lot of you. I think there was at least one person that it sounded like it was extremely irrelevant to. So I'm not sure how she ended up on here, but I'm hoping that you guys got something out of it. And if you don't have any more questions right now, I'm sure some will have questions offline. You can put them in Medicare Gurus group, the Innovative and Friends group. Can you do one per day? Can you do one per day? What do you mean by one per day, David? Can you do one per day? Training. Can I do this training every day? I'd probably do it at a different time. I know some people, are busy at this time of day, but I could do more trainings. I will commit to that. How do you know which plan to use? You mean versus Elite Plus or Elite or Classic? Is that what you're asking? Which variation of the affordable choice? So, I mean, we start with the Elite Plus. My mother has the Elite plan. So, I mean, we'll quote both. In her case, like it was going to be to get on her husband's group health was going to be like $1,000 a month to add her. And they just didn't, they were not going to pay that. So I sold her the affordable choice Elite. So she'd have some coverage. She'd have hospital coverage, surgery coverage, a little bit extra doctor's office and test coverage. So that just kind of depends on price. I quote Elite Plus first. And then if that's still high on price, I say, well, we can go down to the Elite. And then you look at the price difference, and the benefits don't diminish too much on most of it. So a lot of people will pick the Elite, but I quote the Elite Plus first. So that would be my default. I will try to do more training, David. Okay. Well, if there are no more questions, I'm going to let you guys go, and I appreciate you tuning in once again. I will have this recorded and hopefully put on YouTube and share it to the world. Talk to you guys soon.